It was through spiritual practices that I was able to overcome those challenges and rough patches in my relationship. And it actually tremendously helped my romantic relationship that I've been in for 10 years. We were in a rocky place. The beauty of connecting or living a more spiritual life is you're very much in tune with yourself. You're willing to see the good, the bad, the ugly, so you can figure out where that stemmed from and how you can heal it. And you're just more self-aware. Imagine how many relationships would flourish if both partners were more self-aware. Most people, if you tell them, oh, my morning routine consists of me meditating with crystals and a singing bowl and journaling my dreams and pulling oracle cards to receive messages. Oh, and I get energy healings done by someone called a healer who's meant to balance my energies and my chakras. They're going to be looking at you like you just gone insane. If you feel like, yes, I often feel people's energy and it can affect me, you're probably an empath. I remember the first ever session I had was a Reiki session, and I remember waking up on that day and realizing I started my period, and throughout the day I was experiencing cramping and I almost was going to cancel it, but I was like, let me just go. So as she calls me to her practitioner area, I tell her, sorry, I probably should have rescheduled because I'm having really uncomfortable cramps. And she was like, oh, sweetie, don't worry. This is going to help with that. And I was in my head okay, whatever that means. The moment where she was done and she was like, and you can get up whenever you're ready, but take your time. And the moment I got up, I swear to you. And from that moment, I was like, okay. There's things I don't understand about it. And I'm like, I need to understand this. Hello, welcome to the Girl of Your Dreams podcast, where I take you along the journey of me becoming the girl of my dreams so I could hopefully help you become the girl of your dreams. I'm going to be showing you how I do that through a variety of ways, but mainly through using spirituality and astrology. I'm going to show you what it looks like when you incorporate spiritual practices and astrology into your daily practice and how that can help you a lot in becoming your best self, the girl of your dreams. I hope all that makes sense. I have to figure out how I want to articulate this in an intro, but that's what I'm going to be doing. First off, happy Scorpio season. It started today. Today I'm recording this. I'm literally recording this the day before the podcast is due. It's been quite the week. Yesterday I started my period and today is my official day because I started a little later in the day. When all periods are different, but for me, I know I'm gonna start my period because I'll have my lower back will be cramping. I'll have abdominal pains or cramps, and lightly. Sometimes I don't have any if I'm prepared. If I prepare myself the week before, and that usually looks like not eating any sugar, eating very healthy and clean diet, which a lot of whole foods, so lots of salads, fresh vegetables, fresh fruits, fruits and vegetables. Being active, staying active is really good, and drinking a lot of water is usually what helps me. And if I do that the week before my period, then I usually don't experience much cramping. But I'm also vegan, or I don't really like to say vegan because I'm not I don't eat any animal products. I do eat honey and stuff. So I like to say I'm plant-based and I'm gluten-free and a bunch of other things. So that may contribute to a lot of that. Because I feel once I stopped eating meat, that changed my period. I didn't experience cramping as much anymore and stuff like that. So anyways, but that's what I like to do beforehand, and I feel that usually helps. But when I'm eating a lot of sweets, which usually when I'm starting my period, of course, I'm going to be having all those cravings to eat sweets, but I try to wait for at least after the first or second day, then I gradually start to give myself or treat myself with whatever sweets that I want. But I don't even eat that many sweets anyways. My version of having a sweet and treating myself is making some like vegan gluten-free cookies, um like chocolate chip cookies or something like that. So I don't know. I think my diet and how I eat is very weird and different than a lot of people's, because I have a lot of dietary restrictions and allergies and blah blah blah. I don't even know why I went on that whole rant. Oh, so yeah. So that mixed with my whole weekend, it just, I wasn't able to be on track with my filming. And so pretty much, long story short, that's my excuse as to why I'm doing this last minute. The night before the podcast is due, which, I don't like, but we're here. I haven't been in, even in, as much as I do enjoy this filming this podcast, I haven't been in the mind. Like I've been, when the first day on your period, you just want to just stay in bed all day. Anyways, I just feel like a mess, but it's eclipse season. We're still in the midst of eclipse season. So I'm going to blame it on that. And we're going to move on from this conversation so we can start the topic. Also, if you can see, my hair is still in braids. I was serious about how I really just, I was like, supposed to have washed my hair. And then I was like, you know what? I want to keep it simple today. Plus, I don't know, like I still like this hairstyle, and I really had a vision for this, like having these braids, and I wanted to try like an updo with these braids, so then I could have the braids hanging, then I could have some like side fringe, like, little things like kind of have now, and do a bun, because I feel like I don't do updos often. You guys haven't seen me, especially if you've been following my channel, like my hair content. I don't really do updos that much because I don't know. I think my face shape, I think my face shape looks better when my hair is down. I don't know. People just have, I feel like, people just have like the perfect face shapes for like updos. And I just don't. I think maybe because I have like a chubbier face, and I just think my hair, like hair that's down or around my face, flatters my face shape, my chubby face, which I like my little cute. Ew, what am I doing? But I'm secure with my face shape. I just know what works for me and what I'm like, it's not my fave. But anyways, but we're still gonna do. I feel like I'm feeling a little updo. Plus, I don't really like doing much with my hair today anyway, so I feel like that's my cheat code way of doing something simple. I feel like I need to push you a little closer. Okay, so today we are going to be talking about spirituality. Another thing is I did not write a super long script, a detailed script. I kind of wrote a little outline, but I'm going to be pretty much talking more from the top of my mind, my head. So wish us luck, because I feel like I can ramble a lot when I'm not but I have an outline. So we're improvising on this episode. Some episodes are going to be like planned out to the T, and I'm going to be out here just popping like points here and there, and everything's just going to flow so smoothly. And sometimes we're just going to have like a let's see what happens podcast. Today's kind of like one of those, even though it's planned out, but okay, I feel like I'm talking too much. So let's move on. So today we're going to be talking about spirituality and healing for beginners. This whole video is just going to be about spirituality and healing for beginners. What does that look like? What exactly is spirituality? How did I start my spiritual path, or what made me want to go more on the spiritual path? And most of you guys kind of know that if you've been following me before my podcast, but I'm gonna briefly go over that. And where do you pretty much start when you want to start going on where do you start, or what does it look like in the beginning stages of you wanting to start going on a more spiritual path, or incorporate spiritual practices into your routine and all the things like that. So then we're going to be talking about that. Then I'm going to tell you guys about my recent journey of me restarting my spirituality / healing journey, because I took a break from it because I had a rough couple of months. If you guys haven't been following me, I lost my grandmother. Still weird to say out loud, to be honest. It's so when you experience loss, and then you I don't know, it's weird. It's like I've been going through stages where I've been working on healing through that. And, some days you feel like you're like making progress, and then other days you're like reminded, like right now when I'm saying like saying it out loud, it's just kind of like, dang, just makes it more real, even though it seems like it will be real because it's been months. But yeah, anyway, so yeah, that happened, and it's just been like a crazy, this year has definitely been my roughest year ever in my entire life. And I feel kind of weird saying that with everything that's been going on in the world, but I have to not like diminish or not feel feel like I shouldn't say, like I feel like I guess I shouldn't do that. Like I guess I'm on a podcast and we're talking about a topic, and it's like, although I feel kind of like, the voice in the back of my head wants to be like, girl, like your problems are so small compared to like what's going on. And yes, that's true. But I'm sharing this for the context of the topic for today. And then obviously we're going to do the message of the day, and then the comment of the day, and all the, others, our normal routine that we do. Okay, so first I'm going to start off with, what is spirituality? What does it mean to me? And what is the dictionary definition that I looked up on Google? So what is spirituality? Spirituality to me is connecting and understanding yourself on a deeper level. It's also believing that there's more to life than what we can see or what we've been maybe told, and that there's like a deeper meaning / purpose to us being here. I feel like I've always felt that. And so that's why when I, learned about spirituality, I felt seen, like I felt like, wow, like I always knew and felt like there was a deeper meaning. And that's why I resonated with spirituality, to be honest. And then spirituality is caring for and healing your soul. So it's deeper. It goes deeper than just your body. We hear about self-care, and self-care is very surface level. Even mental care is important, and I think that's starting to become more common and accepted now, which is amazing. But I believe that, well, it depends on your belief, but for me, I feel like we are all like, besides our bodies, internally we are our souls, if that makes sense. And excuse me, I'm not gonna be saying this perfect because I'm still learning, and I really hope to get a guest on here one day, or have a guest on the podcast that can talk more about this better than I can, because I always feel like self-conscious when I talk about spirituality because I'm still learning. So let me put that disclaimer out there. Like, if I seem like I'm like choosing my words wisely, it's just because I'm trying to explain it the best way that I can, but I'm not an expert. I'm still figuring it out, and everything like that. And spirituality looks different for everybody, so this is just through my experience. You may talk to somebody who's on their spiritual journey or on a spiritual path or whatever, and may say something different. So, but yeah, I believe that we are, to our cores, souls in this world, and we're meant to be here for a purpose. And I believe that there are things in the world that help us connect to that purpose, and it looks different for everyone. That's why, I don't think that everybody has to be into astrology or has to use astrology or have to even be on a spiritual path per se, I guess, or do spiritual practices. Do I think spiritual practices are very beneficial? But I feel like, it depends on who you are. I'm naturally an empath, and I've always been connected to like the deeper meaning of life. So I'm going to want to connect to things that align with that. But there's ways to become successful, and there's ways to get what you want. You just got to do what resonates with you. And I just want to uncover the deeper parts of myself and the deeper healings, and really like look at my soul and heal my soul, because I really want to become the best version of myself and help others become the best version of themselves. And when I say that, it's just like being free in yourself. you know, being able to be who you are freely, but also I think being who you are freely means that you have to look at the ugly parts and all the parts of yourself. And I believe just healing that. I don't know. That just aligns with me so much. I just kind of have something that I have a thing where it's like, I don't know. I'm just so connected to trying to just become the best version of myself and feel free in being who I am, and just healing, uncovering whatever traumas or things that I struggle with, and figuring out why, and healing that in all kinds of ways. Like, I'm an advocate for therapy. Like, I wanted to be a psychologist, you know, at some point, you know, and I still believe that. I believe in just using as much as out there that you can and trying everything and seeing what works for you. And that's it. I don't know why I'm going into this long rant. Okay, I'm still not even doing my hair. So yeah, anyway, so that's what I believe about. That's what spirituality means to me. And I already told you guys that spirituality has nothing to do with religion. I believe they are two different things. Spirituality is like a practice, is a daily practice, is what you do to better yourself. So I look at it as like, if you have a health routine, or you have a fitness routine, like I always go to this, or if you have a beauty routine or whatever, you know, this is spirituality. It's the same. It's like soul care, you know, just like, you know, if you have a beauty or skin routine, that's skin care, you know, it's just taking care of yourself, but on a deeper level, not as surface level. You're going deeper than the surface. But once again, everybody's different. There's people on spiritual journeys who you just can't generalize it. What made me want to start this spiritual journey or be on a more spiritual path? And that was a couple of things. My old job is what made me, like, the main thing that made me want to. I ended up working at a spiritual store, or a metaphysical store, you would say, that offered a bunch of metaphysical things. And metaphysical things are, I'm gonna have to look up the definition of metaphysical now, but it's pretty much a place that is like a spiritual store that sells spiritual things that you can use in your spiritual practices, like crystals, like incense, like essential oils, like tarot cards or oracle cards, so just certain things like that, like singing bowls, which I just got a new singing bowl, my first ever singing bowl, and I'm so excited to use it. I'm gonna have to open it and show you guys. I don't know if we're gonna be able to do that in this episode, but a future episode I'm gonna have to show you guys. But yeah, so like singing bowls and stuff like that. And then, so they offered the product stuff, all those things for your practices, product wise, but they also offered services and classes. And for their classes, they had, you know, meditation classes. They had sound healing classes to call like sound immersion, and where you do the singing bowls and you lay down and, you know, you get immersed in the amazing sound healing and all the stuff like that. Just a bunch of like spiritual classes, let's just say that. Or classes that connect to spirituality and healing and all those things. And then they had services, which were the first time I've ever heard of services like these. But they had certain things called like energy healing and chakra balancing and all these things, past life regression and all of these things that I never even heard of. And yeah, I just kind of went into it. I was a social media marketer for it, that place. And I also sometimes helped out in the front with the retail, and I had to, obviously, if I was going to be marketing the products, I had to learn about them, and I learned about them. And I remember the owner there, which, you know, we had kind of like a rough patch, but I still will credit her to being like one of the people, I mean the main person that, I mean, yeah, I had to credit her for helping me, you know, being along the journey and helping me even discover a lot and about spirituality and everything like that. Like, she's definitely helped me, and I definitely believe that she was, you know, we were brought into each other's lives for a purpose, like everybody, even though it didn't end like the most beautiful story. I will always, you know, give her that, that she was like a huge component to me starting my spiritual journey. Because it was her store and she has an amazing store. I mean, like the concept of the store and everything they offer was great. It just wasn't a good fit for me because I realized that I'm a freaking Aquarius, and I, as most Aquariuses, we don't like to be tied down. At least, especially for me, I'm very much like free spirited, and it was nice to be able to work. Like that was my first time working for somebody in a long time. Like before I was working there, I was a full, did use social media. And then I did, I had other stuff, but it was just like that job didn't work out because it just wasn't the right fit for me, and it's okay. But anyways, but yeah, that job helped me tremendously on my spiritual journey because it literally taught me it showed me this whole new world that I never even knew like existed, but it felt like home. It felt like I was finally connected with like people that it just felt good. I don't know, that was just on the same mindset and thought the same things and valued the same things and was interested in the same, or like the mindset and everything like that. So that job helped me a lot. I'm still not doing my hair. One of the main things that made me even choose that job is because I've always been an anxious person. I kind of have been an anxious / worrier person for a majority of my life, but it got worse as I got older. It started to develop when I developed a food allergy, and I kind of just, I don't know, that just sparked a lot of my anxiety for whatever reason. And then I started to be fearful of a lot of things in life. And then when I was at the spiritual store, I would talk to a lot of the people there, and they would explain like that anxiety has like a deeper meaning to it, and it could stem from childhood and just certain things like that. And you just realize like the things that you experience, especially like when it comes to like mental health and just stuff like that, it's way deeper than just what you think it is, and that we develop a lot of mental health or just certain things that we experience. Our childhood impacts us a lot. It just, what they were saying made sense, and all the things. So the anxiety, my anxiety and my worriness also made me feel connected to spirituality, because it made me kind of be able to understand why I am anxious and understand my anxiety more, and what I can actually do to actually heal it or to help it, rather than just like doing something that's just going to help it doing something just to fix it in the moment. Like how they give you, I am open to, like, if you have to take medication or just certain things like that, that's totally fine. But I feel like a lot of the times, instead of actually getting like healing the problem, there's just a lot of things that just people do just to like stop it in the moment, or just like put a band-aid over it, and it'll feel good in the moment, but you won't be like getting to the root of that problem. So for instance, like my anxiety, like there's a reason why I'm naturally a more anxious person, and there are going to be different things in my life that trigger that, but that doesn't mean that, but there's a reason why I grew up like that. And so spirituality and spiritual practices and the whole concept of it is just like looking deeper into that, so you can actually heal that, not just slap a band-aid over it, just actually heal it and hope to kind of be able to manage it. I mean, I don't know if I'm ever gonna completely like erase the fact that erase that about myself, but I know that at least I'll know how to deal with my anxiety in a better way, rather than just like taking something that helps my anxiety, but that's just like taking something that's just going to help me in the moment, but it's not actually going to help me understand my anxiety. It's just going to be something that I'm just going to feel like, oh, okay, I just need a pill for that then, rather than realizing like, no, it's because of da 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 da. I don't know. So you see, that's just a deeper meaning. Okay, let me stop talking and let me just do my hair, put this ponytail in my hair, because I'm just talking so much and I'm not really getting much done here. Oh, that bun took quite some arm strength there. Okay, so this is how it looks. This is how my bun looks. I'm kind of cheating in the back. The back doesn't look as cute as the front. I don't even know if the front looks cute at this point. All right, let's move on. Oh, the another one was my fear of death. So I've always had a fear of death. And spirituality helped me understand death in a way that made me not actually overcome my whole fear of it. I still obviously am gonna have that fear of death, and hopefully, I don't know, but it's not like a crippling fear. I mean, it's still kind of, but it's better than it used to be, okay? And now I can understand death it's just changed my viewpoint, my views on death, and made me understand the process of like the purpose of like everything. I'm trying to go talk about it without going deep into it, but it just opened my eyes, and the explanation for death and the cycle of life and everything like that. It just helped me understand that and have a better relationship with the way that I view death and like fearing it and everything. And then this is a major thing, and I feel like this is one of the reasons, because I was going through a rocky time in my relationship, and in a lot of my relationships, my romantic relationships, family relationships, I was just going through a bunch of transitions and rough patches and challenging, patches. And this spirituality, or like, I hate saying it like this. I feel like it sounds so like weird when I say spirituality, but I don't know. I've connecting or understanding. It was through spiritual practices that I was able to overcome those challenges and rough patches in my relationship, and it actually tremendously helped my romantic relationship that I've been in for 10 years. And we were in a rocky place. And I believe it's because we were both transitioning and changing, as people do who's been in relationships for so long. And sometimes it's hard to navigate through that. It's just the beauty of this. The beauty of connecting or living a more spiritual life is you're very much in tune with yourself. Like I said, you're willing to see the good, the bad, the ugly, so you can figure out where that stemmed from and how you can heal it and all the things like that. And you're just more self-aware. And imagine how many relationships would flourish if both partners were more self-aware. And even friendships and just even family, family dynamics and everything like that. Like, imagine how much the world would be and how beautiful relationships were, and just certain things like how many healthy relationships there will be if people were just self-aware. And let me tell you, being self-aware is not easy, because you really have to like own up to your ish, and it's not easy to realize that you are you struggle in certain areas, and maybe you are the problem sometimes in certain situations, or blah 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 blah, or just certain things, so I would recommend. So I mean, me and my boyfriend of 10 years have done couples therapy, and that couples therapy was great, but it for me personally, I won't speak for him or any other couples, uh working through my relationship through spiritual practices helped me tremendously, at least me. And our relationship has improved ever since. So maybe I needed to I finally found something that helped me resonate with me, but also, like, I feel like it's the same way I share my experiences and the things that I learned and everything like that with my partner. So I would just say that it's literally like changed my relationship for the better tremendously. And I do believe, like, one of the main things is because it helped both of us. And I'm gonna speak for myself more because I'm the one who's here, but it helped me become self-aware and on and the more self-aware. And then the last thing is feeling lost while going through a transition in my life. And like I said, I think that's another major thing. I was feeling really lost because I was going through like an identity crisis, that I was changing with my career. I no longer wanted to be identified with just beauty and being the hair girl, you guys know. And then I was kind of lost because, I was just kind of in this, like, I wanted something more. I couldn't really put a finger on what it was. I know I wanted to, like, use my voice more because I felt like, I had so much to say and so much knowledge. I'm always like, if you see me on a daily basis, I'm always listening to something or trying to, I used to read a lot, and I'm always retaining information because I'm always just trying to better myself and learn new things and everything like that. And I'm like, I really want to be able to share this with people. And I feel like, I love having conversations with people and talking about deep things and, giving advice and everything like that. So I always knew I had that within me, but I kind of did it through my videos, but I guess I really just wanted to, like, focus more on that, but I didn't really know how to transition with that. And obviously I'm here now, and it's crazy how life works, when you go through, when you grow up and you grow out of, maybe the things that you used to love, or you may just want to transition. So that was really hard, though. It was really tough. I had to have a reality check, an ego check, because I lost like my big following and all the things like that, and my views took a hit, and my pay, and so much, just so much. Like, I thought I was gonna be on this whole path, that I kind of had already, like, mapped out for myself, and I was like, I changed it because it was just a lot. So definitely connecting to, like, once again, a spirit, like, doing through spiritual practices and getting more, looking within more and stuff like that helped me understand myself. It helped me understand what this transition was, and it just helped me be still through the chaos of what was going on in my life, the transitions and all the things. So it helped me put a understanding to it. It's kind of better to understand the chaos when you're in the chaos or in this, like, confusing point in your life. It is a lot easier to understand and know where that's stemming from than to just be in it and just be, like, mentally just all over the place, or not understanding. So that's all the things that made me want to start my spiritual journey or go on a more spiritual path. So the next thing is how to start and where to start. Now, it's going to be different for everyone. Like I said, I'm always going to say that. But there are three main things that I think that is an easy guide to understanding where to start if you want to incorporate spiritual practices on your journey, or if you want to go more, live a more spiritual path. or connect, connect to yourself spiritually or whatever, however you want to put it. The first thing you can start off with is educating yourself. The second way is going to be tasting things. And the third way is going to be community, getting involved, or community on a consistent basis. So educating yourself is what it sounds like. Educating yourself on spirituality. And you can do that through books. You can do that through podcasts. You can do that through my favorite way, which is probably not the free way, but I feel like if you want to kind of, I'm an impatient person sometimes, and I like to go to credible sources, and I feel like there's so much information out there, but there's like so many people who are ready, who are essentially like spiritual therapists, like they are advisors, because they've been on their journey, they've been through the ups and downs. A lot of them, people went to school. A lot of them, people are even just born more spiritual, which is another thing that, they're actually called like intuitive people, who are in touch with their intuition and, stuff like that. So, let's just say they were born more spiritual than most people, are more connected to their spiritual self and everything. But the correct term is like there's people who are more intuitive, who are more in tune, and who are more gifted, and so the healers in this world, I believe that they are, in my point of view, one of the best. If you can find a really good spiritual advisor, I would say, if you can, there's so many names, but let's just say spiritual advisor. If you can find someone, a good one, I think that's a great way, and a better way, in my experience, in educating yourself, because they can guide you on where to start, and even reference you like what books and just certain things like that, and it's more authentic to you and your journey. For instance, for me, like, say they know I struggle with anxiety and I'm going through this whole transition in life, then I can be guided to like where I should start, depending on that. I mean, books are great, but you kind of there's so much out there. So if you want to be able to have guidance on a credible person who has years of experience, and not just somebody, because even with podcasts, you just never know. I'm wary about information I receive on podcasts, because now everybody's an expert, quote unquote. But there's a lot of frauds out here. There's a lot of people like pretending to be an expert and just spreading misinformation, which is very dangerous, and all the things. So it's better if you can, do your research and see if there's any spiritual advisors near you or in your area, or any intuitive practitioners, you would say, I guess is the correct term. Any spiritual practitioners or intuitive practitioners in your area. And then just, look at their reviews and ratings. Always look at the ratings for everything. And then, and start there. I do believe that's my advice. If you just want to get straight to it, if you really are serious. But if, that does cost. So obviously, if that's out of your budget, then starting with, books or podcasts, or even just like I can help you. Cause like I said, I have a lot of experience with that through my, old job and everything. I have a lot of experience with, I feel like I have a lot of knowledge. So, and if I don't, I have my own spiritual advisor, or would you say intuitive practitioner, that I met through my job, that I love dearly, and who I think is one of the best out there. But I'm biased. And who I actually hope to be able to get on the podcast at some point, because she has changed my life. She's literally like, I call her, like, I view her as my angel. And I know she was put in my life for a reason, for sure. But yeah, she helped me through all the dark times of my life. So but yeah, so anyways, that's number one, educating yourself. And then tasting. So tasting meaning trying all the different spiritual practices out to see which resonates with you. So that could be like meditating, yoga, journaling, using guidance cards, the tarot cards, oracle cards, sound healing, holistic healing sessions like chakra balancing, energy healing, Reiki, all that stuff. Just trying things out and seeing what works for you. You know, a lot of people like to use products for their sessions, or candles, or all the things. There could be so many different things that you could use. And I definitely want to break all of those down on my channel as well. I feel like there's just so much. I mean, I'm going to have ideas for days for these podcasts because there's so much to go into when it comes to spirituality and astrology. I'm just going to have to try to like pace myself and not overwhelm you watching this video, especially if you're like a beginner and you're still, you know. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm always open to suggestions. If you guys have like specific things you guys want me to talk about pertaining to spirituality and astrology, I would be totally open to that. But yeah, so just tasting different things to see what resonates with you. Because what resonates with one person is not going to resonate with the other. I realized that when I first, was starting to be, try to apply spiritual practices to my life. Because when I got there, people were hugely into crystals. And for me, crystals they were nice, but even till this day, they're not a big component in my practice. Do I have a couple? Yes. But I have always resonated more with like experiences, like being in group settings and just being around other like-minded people or people on their journeys. And I just like that whole feel. And I also really love like oracle cards. And I love singing bowls, which I want to get more into. So everybody's different, but some people may not like that. They may like one thing over the other and stuff like that. So you gotta just figure out what resonates with you. And then the last thing is community. You have to. This is the biggest thing because I'm going to talk about it more on my next episode. I feel like it's going to be in the next week's episode, maybe. But I really want to talk about feeling lonely and isolated when you're on this journey, because it can be lonely and isolating because, it's unfortunately, people have their different viewpoints on it. And I think it's becoming more common now, but most people, if you tell them, my morning routine consists of me meditating with crystals and a singing bowl and journaling my dreams and pulling oracle cards to receive messages from spirit or a higher power or whatever you believe in, people are gonna look at you like, what the heck? Oh, and I get energy healings done by someone called a healer who's meant to like, it's supposed to balance my energies and my chakras. They're gonna be looking at you like you just gone insane. I mean, at this point I feel like people know, but like that's not a super normal thing, So it can be kind of, especially when you didn't grow up doing it, and maybe you're around like your friends, or you learn about it, but you already have your set group of friends, or even your partner. You may get into it and then want to share it with them, but they don't know that stuff. And all they've heard is the stuff that the media makes it look like. And that's like evil stuff or stuff you see in scary movies and stuff like that, which are just so wrong in so many ways. But I'm not even gonna get into that. But it's just they just know, they're just misinformed, so they're gonna think that it's like something bad when really it isn't at all. So anyways, yeah, it can just be a lonely journey. So that's why connecting to a community is very, very important. And also for you to help you learn and all the things like that. And that's finding places that have these spiritual classes. And you can look up like chakra balancing near me, or no, you can look up like meditation classes near me, or even yoga is like a good start. or like sound healing near me, or just certain things like that in my area or whatever. So I think those 3 things are a great start if you are looking to like starting your journey. Okay, I'm gonna pause here and I'm going to, maybe I'll just do these, twist my sides real quick, and then I will maybe put some clothes on. Maybe I should do that because I'm gonna end up not doing it. Put some earrings on, get dressed really quick, and then I'll meet you back here. And we're gonna be talking about my first steps of getting back into my practice, my journey, my spiritual and healing journey, what I have done, because I already took my first step into getting back into my spiritual and healing journey. And I'm very excited because it was, oh my gosh, it was amazing and it was much needed. And but yeah, I'm gonna be talking to you guys about that after I get dressed. Thought I would get in touch with my inner indie, hippie, bohemian girl side of me. And this feels so good. I mean, for me to be on my period and everything like that. And this is like a different version of me, okay? So this is a part of me. This is a part of the girl of my dreams, because the girl of my dreams is very much a boho girl, okay? She's like that cute little dream, the girl who looks like she does meditation and yoga and all the things. I love that aesthetic. Okay, so let's talk about how I am restarting. And when I say restarting, that means really diving deep and getting consistent into my spiritual and healing journey. I said, as you guys know, or as some of you guys would know, this has been the toughest year of my life. Like I've said a trillion times. I think I'm gonna remind you every other Sunday. I'm gonna remind you that this has been the toughest year of my life, as if you don't even know, because I've told you about 1,000 times by now. Just this year alone, I lost my grandmother. I would say I lost an idea of what I wanted to do for my career. I lost a big chunk of my following. I lost most of my following, especially currently right now. I almost ended my 10-year relationship. And I was in the worst place financially and uncertain about my future. So after all of that, I thought the best way to, and it's not even funny, I'm laughing. I'm able to laugh now, but I'm not really laughing. I'm just like, what am I going to do? Just like cry. I've done enough of that this year. And still do it, but trying to keep it lighthearted. So yeah, after the roughest year of my life, I decided that the best way for me to dive back into my practice would be to connect with an intuitive practitioner who literally understands exactly what it means to go through a transition, and knows exactly, or can tell you what you will need based on. I needed a professional, okay? And as much as I love therapy, I needed someone who was more of on a spiritual wave, which they do have. They do have therapists who practice or who uses or incorporates spirituality into their practice as well. So, but anyways, like I said, I connected with an amazing practitioner at my old job. She takes her practice seriously. She's went to school for it, although she's already naturally intuitive. And if you don't know what that means, we'll talk about that. But she's naturally intuitive, but she also very much takes everything she does seriously. So she wants to be the best at it. So she, has went to school for a lot of things that she does in her practices and all that stuff like that. So I decided to call her, and I didn't know what I wanted. I was just like, we had a phone conversation, and I kind of told her everything that I've been going through, and through everything I told her, she recommended me an energy healing. So yeah, I went and got an energy healing. And first, before I go into that, I know a lot of people are going to be like, what is an energy healing? Energy healing, I had to look up the definition because I don't know how to describe it. It's like what it sounds like. It's a session that is meant to heal your energy. Whatever energy that you're experiencing, say I'm going into it, I'm experiencing like a deep sadness or anxiety, maybe even like feeling dark or whatever, a darkness, a heaviness. That's the energy healing is supposed to rebalance my energy or just heal that energy, put a lot of like good energy into whatever imbalance of energy that I am experiencing, if that makes sense. But anyways, let me read the dictionary definition. So it says energy healing is a complementary approach based on the belief that our bodies have energy flowing through them, and that healing can come from helping to balance this flow. I think that's a good start. As I've learned through talking with a lot of spiritual advisors or intuitive practitioners, sorry, I don't really know what to call them. There's so many names you could use. But I learned that as you learn more about spirituality and going on a more spiritual path, you realize that energy is a huge thing. Everything is energy. And everything puts off a certain amount of energy, which affects the energy in the air, which affects the energy that we give off to each other. And often energy is just very important because like I can be affected by someone else's energy very easily. And if you're a person who's sensitive to energy, so for instance, you're like empath. Have you ever been around someone and they were like really upset and you didn't even have to say anything or look at you? You could just feel and sense that energy. Well, if that's a yes, if you feel like, yes, I often feel people's energy and it can affect me, you're probably an empath or empathic, because people's energies, you're affected easily by other people's energies. And I feel like I can sense that very well. Yeah, like I'm just like, I can't, like, even, I don't know, I just really, that's how I'm able to get people and understand people more. I feel like, I don't know if this is my superpower. I'm just kidding. But I just feel like I can feel people's energies really, really well. I can tell how someone's feeling without them even saying anything. Like I'm just able to really sense if something's off. Anyways, so pretty much a lot of things affect our energy. It could be people, it could be the environment, it could be a whole bunch of things. And a lot of times you don't really know how to replenish or rebalance or realign your energy back into a good flow state. Negative energy can impact how you feel and just a whole bunch of things. Okay. Once again, one day I'm gonna have to get her on here. We're gonna have a better conversation because I feel like I'm terrible at explaining it. Energy healings are just a good way to help balance or get your body or get your energy back into line after it's been negatively affected or affected in a big way, or if you just feel like simply like, I don't know, like if even if you're like lacking sleep or there's just something that's been going on or you feel off, or even like mentally or physically, getting an energy healing is a really good way of getting rebalanced, rejuvenated in a sense, getting your energy. And this is like connecting to your soul. So when I say like self-care, a lot of people look at self-care. A lot of self-care is like outer, externally, a lot of self-care it's meant to help you on the external side, but there's not much like self-care that's promoted to actually care for your soul. And energy healing is one of those things that, like, even though you can't see it, you're being affected every day. Like your soul or your energy is getting affected every day through everything that you go through in life. And it's very important to care for your soul, to replenish it or cleanse your energy, because those are the things that you may wonder why you always feel a certain way or you're so anxious. Those are the deeper things that are not as easy to understand, or I don't know, like those are a lot of things people forget. I don't know if that's making sense. But anyways, energy healing is a good way. And that's the best way I can freaking describe it. I feel like that was a terrible way of explaining it, but I tried. And then another thing it says, according to the National Center of Complementary and Integrative Health, energy healing therapy, also known as energy medicine, is a technique in which a practitioner channels healing energy through their hands to the client's body to restore energy balance, which in turn brings about health benefits. So I hope that explained it. Oh my god. Energy healing is just a good way to rebalance, replenish, rejuvenate your energy when you're feeling depleted. And that can mean a lot of things. When you're feeling depleted, experiencing a lot of stress, anxiety, frustration, sadness, all the things. Energy healing is a great way of getting deeper into that, rather than like surface level things that are often like, it's a good thing, but sometimes people need more. And if you start to realize how internal care is important, you know, like taking care of yourself on the inside, like putting stuff in your body and stuff like that. Energy and soul care needs to be more common, because that's how you're able to take care and really care for the things that you can't really see. And that's those feelings of anxiety. Like, you don't see that, you know? And there's things like energy healing that are meant to help. Oh my goodness, that was a long freaking explanation. And I still don't know if I gave it justice, but that's my explanation. So after all of everything I experienced, I know my energy has been feeling all kinds of off balance. And obviously I felt, you know, my body has felt tired and depleted, you know, with, and my mind, just everything. I know my body and my mind and my whole energy and everything was out of whack. And so I went to her, and it was a great experience overall. Long story short, it was a great experience. When I first got there, we just sat down and I kind of just talked to her more. She asked me questions and I answered them. It was more questions about, like, you know, what's been going on, how have you been feeling, blah 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 blah, this and then stuff like that. So kind of like a, I don't know, would you say like a therapy session type of thing. And she would just make mental notes to see like what areas that she needs to like focus on, you know. So then I went into a room after that, and then I laid down on a bed that you would like get a massage on or whatever. And then she asked if I mind if she uses crystals, because sometimes they'll place crystals on your body or different parts of your body, because your different parts of your body has different energy centers, which are called chakras, which we'll have to talk about. Chakras are pretty much energy centers in your body. And if they're not in balance, you will feel them on a soul level, but it'll manifest into other things like health issues or just imbalances, you know, stress, all the things. So then I was like, yeah, obviously I don't mind. Yeah, you know, that's fine. And so, yeah, she pretty much, you know, she had music playing. I closed my eyes and she did her energy healing. Now with energy healings, I know this is going to sound really crazy, and it's hard for me to explain. This is going to have to be a whole video on its own, but they usually, like, they hover. So energy healers or people or practitioners have the ability to heal with their hands, okay? I know that sounds crazy, but we're going to have a whole episode on how important energy is, and how there are people who are gifted, who are practitioners, who, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. We're going to have to get her on, because I'm not doing any of this justice. So we're just going to move on from that. But they just know she's healing me with her hands. I know that sounds crazy, but she's hovering she's just hovering over my body, and sometimes she'll like, if she wants to, like, sometimes they'll like touch your like head or like cradle your head, sometimes just to emit the energy or whatever they're doing, healing your energy. But it's not obviously any like inappropriate touching, whatever. It's just most of the time it's just hovering, but sometimes they'll like, hold your arm or hold your neck or whatever, and they're pretty much balancing your energy in a way that I don't even know how to describe to you. I will have to just get her on first so she can explain it. But it's a common thing if you want to do research on it. It's a very it's practiced a lot more in like other cultures, like Asian, I believe I read, and like India or Indian. Just it's very well known. It's a holistic practice. Holistic healing. I will link some links maybe to help anybody that's interested. But anyway, so yeah, I got an energy healing. It was amazing. You don't really feel anything. Sometimes you may feel like warm sensations or something like that, but it's nothing major, and it just depends on how much you're able to feel energy, I guess. So then after that, you get up, and usually you just feel kind of like you just feel really replenished. You feel kind of really happy. Sometimes everybody's different, but you just feel like lighter, and you feel like revived, like energized. You feel lighter. Like imagine, going in feeling heavy, and especially depending on what you're dealing with, and just feeling like lighter and more balanced and in flow and rejuvenated is the best way I could describe it. Then the best thing, one of my favorite parts about this, is that they're able to, then well, I won't speak for everyone, but I know the lady that I go to, she will tell you then after what she found. And she can tell you, like, in this area of your body, you are holding more stress or da-da-da-da, and she'll give you recommendations on what you should do, which is so amazing. And I know it sounds like, what the heck, how can somebody do that? And we'll have to do another episode on, like, intuitive practitioners or whatever, because let's just say there's gifted people in this world. So she pretty much told me what she found and what areas I'm holding certain energies and stress or whatever that she found, and what she advises. That's the simple way of putting it. It was so helpful. Once again, you feel good, but you also get guidance on what you actually need to work on, and all the things. So it's great. So another thing is, this is one of those things where you have to experience it to, one, believe it, and two, understand it. So I would recommend this for everyone to try at least once in your life. Maybe it's not for everyone. But if I have a feeling, if you are more like you're into spirituality and you feel kind of how I felt, like, those things I said in the beginning, like you always thought there was a deeper meaning to life and all these things, if that resonates with you, and even if you feel like you're an empath yourself and everything like that, this will be like perfect for you. You will be like how I felt. Like I was like, oh my gosh, like there's amazing people out here who have the ability to understand energy and heal people with their energy, and just a bunch of things with energy and all that. And then like they're intuitive, so they're able to like understand what you need by just like, it's just a whole nother like world. And I'm so happy. I'm so happy I learned this at the age I am, while I'm still young, because I'm just excited to see where I will be in the next 10 years, being consistent with this journey. So yeah. So I feel like that was a long conversation. Oh, okay. So I'm gonna tell you about the first ever session I had, and then we're gonna go into the card of the day, because we gotta move on. I remember the first ever session I had was a Reiki session, and it was similar to an energy healing, same concept. And I remember waking up on that day and realizing I started my period. And throughout the day, I was like experiencing cramping, and I almost was going to cancel it. But I was like, let me just go. I don't want to do it cancel at the last minute. I don't even think I could have canceled at the same day. But yeah, so I went in and I'm like cramping so much to where I can't really sometimes when you have those cramps where it feels good to like be hurdled over, like it was hard for me to stand up straight. So as she calls me to her like session area, her office area, practitioner area, I tell her, sorry, like I probably should have rescheduled because I'm having really uncomfortable cramps. And she was like, oh, sweetie, don't worry, like this is gonna help with that. And I was in my head like, okay, like I don't know how this is supposed to help me. I didn't tell her that, but in my head I'm like, okay, whatever that means. And then throughout the whole session, I was like, okay, we'll see. Like, like how is this gonna help heal? Like, how are you telling me I'm like this is gonna what are you telling me I'm not gonna feel my cramps anymore? Like, you telling me this is gonna help my period cramps? So throughout the process, you have to be relaxed. But throughout the process, I was trying to focus on relaxing, but in the back of my head, I was still like trying to wait for the moment for I'm just thinking like, oh, so my period cramps are just gonna disappear. Well, I felt like I remember still feeling them throughout the practice, and then maybe I don't know, maybe I got like super relaxed or maybe fell asleep at some point. I don't know. But all I remember is whenever the moment where she was done and she was like, okay, take your time getting up, and you can get up whenever you're ready, but take your time. And the moment I got up, I swear to you, I did not feel a single period cramp. And from that moment, I was like, okay, I don't understand how the heck this works, but I know that there's things. I know that it does. There's things I don't understand about it, and I'm like, I need to understand this. Like, it was just crazy. So, anyways, that's my story. Just look up in your area Reiki sessions, energy. Well, I would say energy healing sessions near me, and you'll thank me later. Or I can I do want to get the lady that I am that I go to. Maybe I can get her on and maybe we can see what will happen. But anyways, so that's my first start, and now she gave me kind of like, now I kind of know, am I more in tune with my body and certain things that I need to work on, and she gave me some guidance and stuff that like I can do now, so now I have guidance on, okay, like what I need to focus on more and everything like that. And I just feel so much better. That was like weeks ago, honestly. I'm probably due. She said, I asked her when does she think I should come back, and she was probably like, maybe next month. She was like, I want you to just like sit with or see how your body feels or whatever after, or see how you feel after, and how you feel when you're doing your practices and everything she like told me. So I think the next time I go, I'm gonna probably try to film it for you guys and show you guys the process of everything. But yeah, I'm really excited. So that's my advice for starting your spiritual and healing journey for beginners. I hope that was a little helpful. And if you have any questions or need clarity on anything, leave that in the comments down below and I will answer those in the next episode. Let's do our message of the day. What is the message that me and the collective needs to hear today, or technically tomorrow? But what is the message of the day? What do we need to hear? Or what do I need to hear? Or we, or whoever's watching. No, that's not clear. Thank you. 2 cards. Got 2. Oh, okay. Wow. Okay. We have laugh, and body talk. Interesting. Let's do body talk first. Body talk. Does your gut rumble, your chest tighten, and the hair in your arms rise in certain situations? Does your heart race and your head pound? Do you get a lump in your throat at other times? Yes, actually I do. That sounds like my anxiety right there. Everything that I feel when I'm anxious. Actually I felt that today. Just when my boyfriend left and then I got anxious about something. Anyways, pay close attention to these signals because your body is talking to you and what it's saying is important. It has a language of its own, unique and consistent. And with a little awareness, you'll begin to read what your body's vibes are trying to tell you, whether it's a warning or a good vibe. Learn to read your body's vibes by running a mental scanner over it several times a day, asking yourself, how do I physically feel right now? Take your awareness a step further and actually talk to your body. Ask it out loud for feedback and trust what you get. Don't overthink it. Take the first thought or feeling that pops up as accurate and use the information to guide you. This is sixth sensory health insurance. Wow. This is right next to it, so I don't know. Sometimes this is one of the things where I'm like, dang, was I meant to receive this, or was it like sticking to the other card? Because this is laugh is literally the card after that, but I'll read it because maybe it was meant to be, maybe it's gonna resonate with someone. Okay, laugh. Life has become way too serious for your own good, and you've temporarily forgotten that all is well. To connect with higher vibration and easy rest, laugh at your circumstances, no matter how upsetting or serious they may appear. Laughing immediately opens your heart, awakens your higher self, calls in your angels and guides, and activates your ability to tune in and follow your vibes to the best possible solution. It clears your aura and rebalances your chakras, clearing the way for you to intercept even higher channels of direction and solution. Laughter is also the front door to healing energy. Even if you feel that a dark night of the soul has descended upon you, you may just be overreacting. The present situation, no matter how menacing it may appear, is begging for comic relief. And you're being advised from the higher realms to step back and allow such relief to enter. Your angels and guides are on the scene, working hard to restore balance and order and usher in the gifts that today's challenges offer. So let go, lighten up, and allow life to sort itself out. It will. All right. Thank you for that guidance. Wow. So that is that's our message of the day. I'm gonna go to my last podcast episode. Today's comment of the day is gonna go to Sunchild August 4940. She said, very interesting. I love guessing signs too, and was very surprised by your big three. I thought Leo, Libra, or Taurus would for sure be in. Would love for you to talk about Venus because it also represents beauty and aesthetics, and you did beauty on your channel for so long. Wow. And then I responded. I responded to her, but I also thought this was crazy. First off, the fact that you thought I was a Leo, Libra, or Taurus. Do I give off? That's so crazy. Because I'm an Aquarius, and Leo is like the opposite of Aquarius. That is literally the opposite sign of Aquarius. So that's so funny that you thought I was a Leo. But I guess I can sense that through my videos. But I'm like so not Leo energy at all. Like it's funny because Leos love attention, and it would come off that I love attention, but I actually don't really like. I like attention to get causes. Like I know attention is important to get your message out there, but that's the only reason why. I don't know. Anyways, I like it to help people, but not to like be like, oh, look at me. Like I'm not like the Leo, you know? And that's okay. But anyways, I would definitely talk about Venus because I do think that you're gonna be my Venus sign in placement will probably make sense to my channel. I hope I explained or the spirituality and healing journey for beginners well enough that it helped somebody out there. And please don't hesitate to leave a question in the comments down below. And if you want me, or any comment or any support on this channel or this podcast would be great. Even liking my videos are so helpful because it helps the algorithm push out these episodes and helps grow our communities. Much love and just take care of yourself, okay? I'll see you next week.